Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we are going to be diving in to see what changes and updates are going to be happening within the next few months for your career, for your job, and for your career goals. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits and everyone else who is new and just joining in. It's wonderful to have you all here joining me in this space as we're going to be diving into each of these piles to see what's coming in for your career, any changes, any news, any transformation. There's a lot to dive into, so I hope you guys are settled and ready to go. Feel free to get yourself in a nice, wonderful place and with like a nice little snack or whatever you feel comfortable in as we are going to go ahead and get started here with the piles in just a moment. But I do want to say if you want to be able to support this channel and myself further, then feel free to check out the snail mail readings that I do down below for private readings if that's something that interests you, if you find my energy, if these types of readings really resonate with you, especially if you've been a long-time subscriber and that's something that interests you, then feel free to check that out down below. And if you also would like to subscribe, then feel free to check out the other videos that I have on this channel, as I do weekly readings as well as monthly blessings, and I also look into lots of different types of things within timeless readings for when will a wish come true for you, different career changes, who are you manifesting into your life, what makes you most attractive, your spiritual and magical gifts and abilities, and so much more. So there's a lot to dive into here, and I hope you guys are excited, and let's go ahead and dive into the details of each of these piles. So for each of the piles, I chose a different EF rune. They definitely could resonate with you if you guys follow different runes and you know the runic messages. You can use that to your advantage, but just in general, they're all green aventurine and they all could resonate with you differently just based off the symbol and the strokes. So definitely see what your intuition is really peaking on for each of these. But here for pile number 1, we have the rune of the R, which is Ride as well as Raidho. So that is pile number 1. This is what the whole thing looks like. For pile number 2 here, we have a very different rune of Wunjo, and this is the victory flag as well as the letter P. So that may resonate different for each of you. It's more long and oblong and lanky, but that is pile number 2. And then lastly here for pile number 3, we have another more lanky rune, but it's much darker. And this is Berkana. It represents birth and fertility, but that is pile number 3. So those are the 3 different runes you can choose from in the 3 different piles. We're gonna go ahead and take a deep cleansing breath here together so you can really gather your thoughts, gather your intuition, and see which pile or piles is really calling out to you. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your pile. You can choose 1 pile, 2 piles, all 3 piles. You can choose a pile, switch, change your mind. There really is no right or wrong way. And if you already know which pile is for you, then feel free to check out the timestamps down below as well as within the chapter marks. And as mentioned before, if you're interested in the snail mail readings that I provide with the handmade magical paper and local ingredients that I use, as well as the personalized sigil that I create and send for you depending on what your reading really calls for, and then the reading itself is also typed on a vintage typewriter and sent to you in the mail with so many different goodies and love put into it. If that's something that interests you and you have a question or query in mind, then feel free to check those out down below, as well as the honest reviews on my Instagram, and within my Instagram there's a lot more information there as well. So all of that will be down below that you can check out and see for yourself. But we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello Group 1, if you've decided to choose the R or Raidho rune, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set it down here for you. Feel free to grab a snack, get settled, and really get comfortable for your reading here today, as we're going to be looking into your career. This is some more information on the rune in case it is important to you for your reading, although I won't be reading into it as I didn't intuitively pull each of these, but it may resonate for you. So this is some more information on the rune that you chose. But today we're going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. Those of you who watch my videos are probably like, I know what you're using. The Everyday Witch Tarot, the Spellcasting Oracle, and the Celtic Lenormand deck. I absolutely love using these two oracle decks together, so it's just like the vibes are here today. And I was feeling really pulled to this one for you guys. So let's go ahead and really settle, get grounded, and feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And we're going to be looking into what's coming in for your career for the next few months. Any changes that are happening, energy that you need to be looking into within these next few months, things to just be aware of. So let's see, group one. You have the Six of Wands. So we have some sort of achievement or being recognized for your efforts that are being put in and put forth. So that's really exciting. Let's see where that recognition comes from. So group one, your career. Is it taking off? Are there setbacks? What do we need to know? We also have the Two of Pentacles, so this could be more than one project that you're trying to juggle at this time, but we'll look more into it. But it definitely does talk about balancing or finding balance in the chaos. So let's see what else is coming in for your group here, group one. I thought I felt that one, but when I touched it, was not it. So let's keep going. Group one. What do we need to know for these next few months? Oh, and we also have the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, you guys have such a wholesome, wonderful pile coming in here. Lots of recognition, lots of balancing, effort definitely being put forth with this Ten of Pentacles. If you have dreams for financial goals or dreams that are just starting to kind of take off, I really think that there's going to be a lot of fulfillment from your career within the next few months. So that's really exciting to see. Let's see what else there is here with the Spellcasting Oracle. If there are any other obstacles that may be coming in though, because it is exciting, but it has to come from somewhere. I'm not saying that they have to be a struggle, but it's always nice to know what roadblocks might be showing up. So let's see some of that energy here for you, group one, for your pile and career over the next few months. Okay. Healing. Oh, I seriously get such a wholesome feeling, like so much healing, so much growth over these next few months. But we have healing. This also gives me, if you guys work with witchcraft or with spirituality, prayer, things like that, manifestation, there is something about maybe things starting to, like you're being recognized for those efforts. So there could be things that are actually manifesting or moving into the universe based off your efforts on that sort of more spiritual plane, which is really cool to see as well. But also just talking about healing that's coming in from maybe the idea that you're actually getting some money coming in, feeling secure enough to heal. So that's really cool. Let's see some more information. Group one, pile one. Ooh, that one just like flew right up at you guys. Let's see here. Oh, we got the wildflowers as well. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. Here we have the wildflowers, or the flowers in general. They talk about freedom, individuality, beauty, and also standing like your ground as well, because wildflowers will just grow anywhere. They can make any place that they're in and they can thrive. So that's really cool. We have the number 9 showing up, which gives me like 9 of Cups vibes, and then we've got the Queen of Swords, so that may resonate for each of you in different ways. So let's get your final message here and see what it has to say with the watercolor affirmations, which if you guys are curious how I made these and crafted them up, especially if you guys are into spirituality or art magic, definitely check out the video I'll have on the screen somewhere on how you can make some your own. But we also are going to be going into the charms later on, so definitely stay tuned for those to get the more detailed version of things that are going to be happening within the next few months. So group one, here we are. All right, that definitely makes sense. We have balance over imbalance, which definitely is making me think of this Two of Pentacles card. I think it's cool that you have two pentacles. They definitely talk about career, and then with your balance over imbalance and the fact that we have them literally balancing is really cool. I love the symbolism of your guys' pile. But let's go ahead and dive right on in here, group one. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that we have that healing card. And I feel like with all of the energy that we have here of things starting to come back almost in ways that you want, right? We've got security, we've got family coming in, or feeling like you have your chosen family really close to you. There's balancing that's happening, also being recognized for your individual efforts, being recognized for any effort that you're putting in, like projects, your boss recognizing you, getting that raise possibly. What I think is really interesting though is with healing, I had asked when I asked this specific deck what obstacles you had coming in. We have healing, so it could also be that an obstacle for you is healing as well, that you're going through even though a lot of things in your career are going really well, there may be a need for healing on an emotional level, on a physical level, making sure to take care of your health at this time. So these are things that are going to affect what is going on in your career, how you're feeling mentally about your career, how you're feeling success in your career, whatever success means for you. Obviously, it's different for everyone what success means. But I really do think that there is a need for healing. So if you need to talk to a therapist, if you need to do some Reiki healing, whatever kind of modality that is for you, whatever kind of method really works for you, there is some healing that needs to be done on an emotional or physical level that is really going to help create this balance that you need. Because like I was saying, even though there are opportunities for a lot of wonderful growth, a lot of chosen family, a lot of, like, I feel like you guys are going to get really along with your coworkers, or you're going to really feel like you're really part of a team that really works together to create like a really wonderful, stable financial future for yourself and being recognized possibly even as a leader within this group. There still needs to be a balance for you. And so if you're the type of person that like goes towards your goals so deeply and so like there's such tunnel vision, and I personally find myself doing this too, where I just put all my effort, all my energy, all of my time into this specific project, that I don't balance other things that are happening outside of that project or outside of that career. And in this case, it's your career or your job. I really think that you need to find inner peace, find inner balance, possibly through nature, maybe going out to wildflowers or looking into how wildflowers really affect you. But with that balance over imbalance, I really think if you have a lot of practical side to yourself, maybe you're an earth sign like me, and you're very fixated on your goals, you may have your health falling towards the wayside. Maybe you're not sleeping enough, maybe you're not cleansing your energy enough, maybe you are not feeding yourself enough, bringing in nutrients towards yourself enough. And I think that they're going to throw you off balance, because you can only go towards these goals and go and go and go. And it almost makes me think like, or kind of reminds me of a personal story with my mom anyway, and see how this connects to you. But when my mom was working really hard for my sister's wedding, like she put all of her energy into that project, and the moment that the wedding was successful, the moment everything went well, even though there was a lot of wonderful recognition for the work that she put in, she like crashed. She got sick really bad. She wasn't feeling very good. She wasn't sleeping enough. Everything just fell off balance, because all of a sudden, like, your health is going to just like jump right on to this little beam, and it's going to throw you entirely off, and in a way that you weren't expecting, in a way that you're going to feel very like sideswiped by. So definitely keep that in mind. Make sure you are still taking care of your health, taking care of your mind, body, and soul while you're working on these projects. Definitely sleep, take the rest that you need. Because I think it's going to be really important. I think a lot of your balancing as well, because it's not really giving us like Four of Swords energy or energy like necessarily talking about sleep. or more practical sides of it. Because we do have the wildflowers, it's making me think that you just need some time to yourself. Because you have all of these people, like literally in each of these cards, you have all these people looking at you, watching over you, being in your circle, being in your space. I think you need some time to be an individual, be your own person for a little while. Maybe step out into nature if you can, take a walk, go by yourself somewhere, give yourself, take yourself on a date. Kind of that type of energy is what I think you really need. It's not necessarily only sleep or taking your vitamins or more practical things, but also just on a mental level. I think you need some time, like for hermit mode, time to give back to yourself, time that's just to work on that one hobby completely unrelated to your career. Give yourself that time and allow yourself permission to look after yourself in these ways, because you're going to have the stability, you're going to have the recognition, you're still going to be working towards those goals, but it's really important to also work on yourself and your health. So with all that said, let's go ahead and move on to your charms. Let's see if we get any more details. I wasn't planning on using the letter tiles for this reading, but for whatever reason, I'm really feeling, at least for your guys' pile, called to pull some letter tiles. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and see what names, dates, and places come in. Maybe we can find out if it's more nature that you need or specific modalities. Let's see. Okay, so we definitely have E's showing up here because we have E, and then it's also with the S. It's just making me think it's like easy, breezy, make things easier, lighter, less is more for you in this case. We also have U, and then T and H. So I have these showing up, possibly even 3, although it's not entirely there, but we do have these, which makes me think that there's multiple projects maybe that you're working on. I also see set, which makes me think of like being a very fixed sign. You may be a fixed sign within your astrological sun sign. I personally am a Taurus, which is a fixed sign, which means that I fixate on things. I can be very stubborn about things. So make sure, again, that you're working through that stubborn side of yourself. And like I said, the key word here is allowing yourself time, not just making time or working through to give yourself time, but allowing yourself time, the permission to do so. I also see he, so that's one pronoun that's showing up here. The thing that I thought was interesting too is when I first pulled these out, we had which makes me think of like indecisive energy too. Even though you have a lot of determination, there is a lot of working towards everything. I do think that maybe when you finish this goal, you might also need healing in the fact that you might not know where to go next. Maybe you haven't thought ahead of it, or you're just like so focused and fixated on this one goal and this recognition that you're going to receive and the financial stability possibly that you'll be receiving from it, that I think that there could be like a feeling of like, what's next? I haven't set any goals. I don't have any plan. So these are also things to be thinking ahead of time versus being kind of thrown off balance all very suddenly because of it. So those are the big ones that I'm seeing here, but feel free to take the time to really write these down, see what comes up for you. Maybe your name starts with an E or something like that, because we do have a lot of E's showing up. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms and see what comes through for them to finish off your reading here. I hope you guys are enjoying so far. If you are, feel free to like this video. It really does help this channel continue to grow and this community to flourish, so I truly do appreciate it. It's free and it's super helpful, so thank you. And let's move into your charm. Okay. All right, so we have a few different things showing up here. We do have magical energy. We have a couple that are stuck together here with the silver lining, so I'm going to leave those together in a little bundle here. There definitely is security. We have more fixed energy with kind of a Taurus energy again, that bull-headed, stubborn feeling. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see all of the charms here and that you're not missing out on the fun. So first off, we have the number 1 showing up here. So this may resonate for some of you if you definitely look for angel numbers. If you get 111 a lot, 101, anything having to do with 1 showing up, that could be resonating for you around some of these charms, especially around the stubborn charm or some of these over here. See how that resonates for you. I always invite you guys to look at these charms and see what personal symbolism comes through, what personal images and stories and thoughts and feelings come in for you. But the other thing with number 1 does talk about initiation, a first start, a first step. So I do think, like I said with that, you need to set goals, but also that you're focusing only on one thing, right? And there's multiple things to be focusing on. What happens after, your health during, and kind of clarifying the entire picture instead of just tunnel visioning through the mountain at only one. But we do have more magical energy, which I think is really interesting. We do have the Minnie Mouse hat. So this represents magic. This represents believing in yourself, believing in the fact that you can also put on multiple hats is what I just immediately got, which I don't normally get with this charm, which I think is interesting. Like, you can put on multiple hats, you can put on multiple senses of, like, within a project, like, you don't have to be stuck to just the one hat or that one way of thinking, that you can try on other types of hats, try on other types of careers, other types of jobs, those subtle nuances of change, which I think is really cool. But the other thing too that the mini hat does talk about is magic. So like I said, if those manifestations are coming through for you, if that first message that I had with this healing card comes through for you, that is coming through, that your manifestation, prayers, thoughts, and feelings are being heard and being responded to, which is really, really cool. If you guys have been going through a financial slump lately, if you feel like no money has been coming in or your efforts aren't really being seen, like it's just cheap, it doesn't feel like what you're doing feels very fulfilling, there is a turn of a new leaf. So we have this leaf and it's turning, it's flipping, it's changing, the seasons are changing, because we also have it near the new moon, which are new intentions, new beginnings, fresh, out of the oven, ready to start. So that's really, really cool that that's going to be changing up. We've already got sort of some financial security coming in that way, but we also have it again here of things turning around, flipping that switch, which is why you might have been stubborn, right? That why you might have had that tunnel vision energy, because maybe you didn't have a lot of money right now, or your finances have been kind of low, and it's making you want to head towards that path so wholeheartedly because you need it, because you need that money, or because you need that silver lining. But it is still important to take care of yourself, because what's the point in having all of the money if you don't have yourself to take care of it at the end of it? We do also have the silver lining charm coming up here next to and connected to these two charms. So we'll see how that resonates for you, but we do have these two charms with that silver lining. So silver linings are like serendipitous moments, the universe helping us along, a difficult situation, like I was saying, that's turning around and actually ends up being an opportunity for you. But with that, we have the selfless charm. So this means you're really trying to help everyone. You're really trying to be recognized for your efforts. You want everyone to see you in such a beautiful light. And I think that's really wonderful, but you also aren't giving back to yourself. You need to be able to be selfish every once in a while. Give yourself some time, have some pamper moments. It's totally okay. And I know I keep running with this idea, you guys, and kind of hitting it home. But I just think it's a really important message that you need to hear at this time. So I really just want to stress it. But the last charm that you had in that bundle here was the, this is like the key to your life purpose. That's how I always think of it. It's a very intimate, very true, very soul purpose kind of key is what I always think of it. It looks very ornate. It looks like it's made just for you. You know what I mean? So I do have keys to logic. I have keys to career, keys to security, but this is like you're opening yourself up during these new opportunities. So even though you're going to be working on your career, a lot of healing is going to be happening within yourself, because we don't have any charm showcasing a lock, just a key. So there's a huge opportunity to be working on yourself during this time, as well as your financial goals, and both can happen at the same time, and it actually will be very beneficial for you. And I think another thing that's really cool is we do have the self-care charm coming up here. We also have the charm of pinning something up and coming back to it later, right next to your financial goals with this little penny. So it's, again, pinning things up, putting it down, allowing yourself time for rest. And then again, it's showing up here with the overwhelmed charm. So you might be feeling overwhelmed. And then next to it, we have the foggy charm. So things aren't as clear. You're not working as well because you're too overwhelmed, you're overstressed, and you're working yourself to the bone. So definitely allow yourself time off. That is the biggest message that I'm getting here for you guys. But also to allow yourself to switch the script, try on new hats if you want to, open new opportunities for yourself, and to align yourself and allow yourself the opportunity for healing as well as growth. They can happen interchangeably and at the same time. So with all of that said, that is all I have for you, Group 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading here with me. Again, please like the video if it did resonate and if it really spoke to you in some way. I really do appreciate those who have liked the video. Also, please be sure to let me know how this reading really went for you. I'd love to know if any specific words came up for you, if anything else came up for you. Personally, I still see teeth a bit in these as well, but let me know your personal thoughts. I'm always curious and would love to know them down in the comments below. Also, if you want to support this channel even further and support yourself through them, I do personal readings as well, and I do snail mail readings, which are really, really fun. They are very personalized. I put so much work, effort, and thought into them, and where I do these readings and do a lot of detail, I really go into detail with those, and they're all written up on a vintage typewriter for you. And I even provide the option, although you don't have to choose it, to get some magical ingredients as well that I hand make myself with magical paper, as well as use local herbs in the paper that I create, and it's all recycled. I really think through them, and I even make a personalized sigil for you. So if that's something that interests you, a reading, magical paper, a sigil, vintage typewriters, that kind of vibe, then feel free to check that all out down below in the comment or in the description, and I would love to read for you, hold that space for you. So before I ramble on any further, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I'm going to go ahead and move on to pile 2, but I truly do wish the best for you within these coming months in your career. So with all of that said, wish you guys the best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you've decided to choose the rune of Wunjo, or the rune that looks like a victory flag with the letter P in a certain way, depending on how you see it, this is the rune and pile for you. I'm going to mention right off the bat, if you hear my dog upstairs having a little play, then I'm sorry about the sounds, but he sounds like he's having a lot of fun. His name's Loki. He's absolutely adorable, little black lab. But anyways, I thought I would show you also what Wunjo means here with victory flag: success, joy, productivity, harmony, fulfillment, and perfection. So that is the rune that you chose. This may resonate for your pile, this may not. I didn't choose them necessarily intuitively. I just kind of chose them as I was feeling them. So we'll see how it resonates and see if it really comes in for you or not. But I did want to show you what it meant. But feel free to get settled, grab some tea, grab some water, grab a snack. Personally, I love to eat while I watch my own readings and others read for me, so I hope that you guys are comfortable and ready to go, as we are going to be using these charms, these watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the Spellcasting Oracle, the Celtic Lenormand deck, and the Everyday Witch Tarot, which for whatever reason, even though it's a very magical deck, it always makes me think of career messages. So I don't know, do what you will with that, but feel free to send your energy in through time and space here. And we're going to go ahead and start looking into your career within the next few months. Any changes that are coming in here, Group 2, or if you are just kind of settling into a new career, settling into a new job, just any kinds of changes that may be coming in for you. So first off here, you have the Seven of Pentacles. This can talk about not necessarily having a clear direction of what the next step is, or needing to take a step back to see what your next clear step is. So we're going to see what that is for you. So let's see here, group two. What else do we need to know, group 2, for your pile? What changes in your career? My dog is just having a little fun up there. I don't even know if you guys will be able to hear it, but here we go, group two. What do y'all need to hear about your career changes at this time? Any updates? Any shifts in energy? Okay, so we have here the King of Swords. So this is you maybe looking for new knowledge, looking for that next step, looking to see what could be coming forward for you. The King of Swords, very knowledgeable, very much knows what his stuff is. He's like the Ravenclaw kind of guy. He knows a heck of a lot about a lot of things. And so seeing as you may be feeling stuck, it may be that you're very knowledgeable on the subject, and it's almost like you've been troubleshooting for a while and are trying to figure out the next step. Because it just isn't lining up. So let's get some more information there. Group two. Send your energy in on through. It really does help with these readings. Right, and then we also have the Suns. This is clarity. That's really exciting, seeing as you had a lot of uncertainty and not sure of what that next step is. Getting the Sun is a really wonderful card to be getting. It also is 19, in case that resonates for you. We have 19, 7, and then the King of Swords, which would be 14. So do what you will with those numbers. We're going to go ahead and see more information on your pile here. Group 2. Okay, so we also have peace. So I think you're going to have a peace of mind too. I think that it's going to be, even though things may be seeming slightly off or feeling like you're not exactly sure what that next step is, I think that once you find that next step, you're going to find inner peace. But I also think in general that there's a lot of peace that comes from the troubleshooting. Maybe you enjoy that part of your career, that part that has to try to figure things out. Maybe you're very much more logical, more methodical. Maybe you use the scientific method or something like that. Maybe you're very sciencey, more math related. I do think that there could be peace in that. Maybe you actually enjoy the challenge or the trying to figure it out, that troubleshooting side of yourself, which would be really cool too if that is really resonating for you. So let's see your next and final card message, although we still have an affirmation to pull for you. So group two. So we have the book. That's so cool, seeing as you have the King of Swords here, words. We have the book showing up here. This is mysteries, this is mastery, this is discovery, and also writing down your thoughts and your changes and things like that. I just think that you're going to be noting it all down. I feel like you guys are, you may be creative souls, but you're going to be taking a more logical step towards the projects that you're going towards the steps that you're taking forward in your career. And I think that you're going to be taking more of a logical perspective. But here we are with the book, and it also is number 26 as well as 10 of Pentacles, or the 10 of diamonds in this case. So that's really cool to be seeing. If you watched pile number 1, this may even be that mastery where that 10 of Pentacles came in your pile, but just in general, that's coming up here in case that resonates more deeply for you for numerology reasons. But let's go ahead and get your final message here with the watercolor affirmation, see what affirmation is coming in for you. But do stay tuned for the charms, as we'll go into more specific details within the coming months. So group 2, what do you have coming in, group 2? Group 2 for career. What affirmation? All right, fell on the 7 of Pentacles. Progress, not perfection. Perfect for that card as well. You have progress, not perfection It's about taking the journey. It's about that. I really think for you guys, if you aren't a troubleshooting kind of person, if you don't really like maybe you work with computers, or you maybe you work more with your hands, whatever it is, I think there's going to be a lot of a challenge, but a challenge that you're actually going to be excited about, which usually isn't the case, right? Usually challenges hit and we're not about it. But I think that you guys are up for the challenge, or that when it does show up, that I think the growth that you gain from it is actually going to give you so much inner peace and clarity that it actually is going to feel worth the obstacle. But let's go ahead and dive in group 2. So as I said, right off the bat, you had this roadblock, right? The 7 of Pentacles would be your roadblock within the coming career changes that you may be having. As you can see, she has a book. There is a book present in several of these cards, which I think is really cool. We have the book here. We have the book of the King of Swords. But you can see where the King of Swords would be opening the book, pointing at the book, really looking through the book. And then we have this book here. What I think is really interesting is this one is just sitting here while she's calculating, looking at the harvest, the things that she wants to build. These are your projects, right? These are all your projects hanging around. But as you can see, they're not ready for harvest. They're not ready for, plucking or taking them. The berries are not done, right? So you can't take when it's not ready, when it's not fresh, when it's not ready to be picked yet. And I think you might be eager, I think you might be ready to do it, or you feel like you earned this, or something's already ready and done. But I think that there are more calculated steps to be doing. I think that there is more to the story than you are initially seeing. So within your job, within your career, if you're working on a big project right now, if you are definitely working in something more analytical, more logical, make sure you didn't miss a step. Make sure that you are really looking back through your journals, looking back through your research, looking back through the projects that you've been working on. Make sure you haven't lost something in a save file, or that you really have things backed up in your emails or whatever it is. I just think that there is maybe a misstep that needs to be logically fixed or cleared up before you move forward, before you harvest your blessings from this experience, this project, or this job that you're working on right now. Or if you're ready to move towards a new job as well, this also can apply to you in the fact that you need to maybe read the fine print of the job that you're trying to be hired for. Make sure that the people that you're around for the job really give you love and peace, that it isn't a toxic environment. I think those are things that are really important. Really look and think through these projects, think through these new career steps very logically with your mind and less with your heart. Definitely use your intuition as well. But the other thing that I think is really cool too is with the King of Swords, even though he is very logical, sometimes you need that with this peace card and also the sun. It's giving me the idea that you're almost missing out on the point of the project too. So I think it's really important that you make sure that the projects that you're taking on, these new career opportunities, and even maybe new jobs that you're applying for, are ones that give you peace, that are ones that give you fulfillment, and that you feel very called to as well. Because with the doves and everything, especially if you work with angels or other spiritual teams or cosmic teams or something on that level, spirit guides, that's the word I was trying to come up with. I really think that they are sending messages or trying to get it out to you that there is more here, right? Because we have the birds here behind him and he's looking at the book and she's not looking at the book, and there's just I feel again a misstep. But I think a lot of it, the misstep is either within your research or within the piece that you're holding. The laughter, the fun, the humor in the projects. With the sun, it does talk about creativity. It talks about your inner child, bringing back that inner playful energy. So make sure that you don't get so bogged down in all of the numbers, even though it is a very logical step, even though we are thinking a lot more logically. It is also important to balance in some of that inner child fun. So make sure you're still having fun with the projects that you're doing. Maybe the reason why you misstepped something is because you weren't feeling very fulfilled by it. Maybe you just weren't really interested in it, or you felt like it was boring, or is a part of your job that just really isn't your favorite part. it definitely resonates. I'm feeling like with this pile, there's like 2 specific types of people who have chosen it. So definitely see if you're more of the analytical person or more of the creative person and how this resonates for you. But like I said, I just think that there is going to be a lot of clarity that comes in too. So if you feel like you've been waiting and like all of your projects are just taking a long time, or you're just really feeling anxious and ready to go to just harvest all of the success, the money, the stability that you'll receive from these projects and goals that you have in mind, definitely the biggest things though is finding clarity through looking at it logically at the situation, but also making sure to keep fun in the projects that you are doing and choosing projects that are not toxic, but ones that are full of love, that are full of excitement, and that will give you inner peace when they are finished or as you work on them. And that'll be different for each of you, so see how it resonates and feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But with all of that said, here, group 2, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms here, and we're going to see what comes in for you. So here we are, group 2. We're going to look into more of the details, which I really think your guys' pile needs. So let's see. Okay. Oh, we have the 10 of Pentacles showing up here again. So there's definitely, for some of you, a connection to pile number 1 and how this is coming through. Maybe you needed both piles, or if you are watching this one and it's not fully resonating, definitely check out pile number 1. But I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to start sorting through each of these. And I'm going to pick up the ones that don't fully resonate for me, or they're just not really calling to me here, and see what comes in. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you back just one little bit. So right off the bat here, in the focus, the biggest things that are going to be happening, the biggest energy changes, is we do have creature comforts showing up next to the inspired charms. This talks about feeling inspired. This also kind of looks like the sun, right? It's a star. And it's giving you comfort. It's giving you inner peace. This is like that feeling that you feel when you feel warm by a fireplace in the winter, or you feel all nostalgic as the leaves fall in the fall, or whatever that feeling is for you that gives you comfort, that makes you feel comforted. Maybe that is mathematical equations for some of you, but it's inspiring you to keep going, but to not go with just inspiration or just this drive, but because it's something that comforts you, that gives you peace, that gives you a sense of clarity and warmth. I think that is very important when you move towards the projects that you choose and towards the career steps that you move forward in. Some of the surrounding charms that we have coming in here, I'm going to talk about this pawn. This talks about someone who's kind of moving you around on the board and not really caring about you that much. So this could talk about if you are personally a boss, make sure to release and allow people to do their own thing. Maybe your misstep is misjudging people who work below you or work above you. But there is something about like the work environment that needs to change. Maybe some communication needs to happen, releasing judgment of someone because it fell on the release moon. Or it can also be talking about just really communicating with them and creating a better friendship with them and releasing any ties that were sticky, icky energy, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of energy showing up here, especially in your charms, with this heart, with the creature comforts, and then also this charm of the key to your heart that is telling me that you need to definitely make sure that you have a community, that you have people that you actually want to be working with, that you are bringing on people to the projects that you are working on because they also want peace, they also really are inspired or want to clear something up, or there's just a desire to actually be there. And I think that that's really important because you do have the key to your heart. We have the other heart charm showing up here. So with the key to your heart, this can also talk about a crush in the workplace, or that you are feeling just very close to someone. Maybe you're working with your family or you're working with a close friend, but for some reason there is some sort of either deeper feelings towards this person. They don't have to necessarily be romantic, but they just are very deep. You feel a very true pull towards these people to work with. But then we also, what I think is really interesting is we have with the creature comforts, we have the spoon charm and then the patterns charm. So this is talking about switching the script or looking through the patterns. Like I said, with the book, you may have had a missteps. This is making me think that, like, look back at your logs, look back at those patterns, make sure you haven't missed anything. But then we also have the spoon charm, which talks about taking things slower, making sure that you aren't working too fast. And then also, if any of you are spoonies, this can talk about making sure to give yourself the appropriate amount of time and really thinking logically through the amount of spoons that you have for a specific project or day, and how that's going to affect your peace of mind when it comes to the projects and career steps that you're making, as they're going to impact how much you are inspired and how much peace of mind you have, especially if you're working yourself a little too hard. The last few charms that are showing up here, we have the flexibility charm as well as the leaf charm, which this talks about a turn of a leaf, a change in a leaf, being more flexible. And then we also have the cluster charm, which talks about things that are feeling very clustered, you're feeling very busy. So within the next couple months, even though you have all these wonderful opportunities happening, that you have these people that you're working with, it's important that you're not getting too overwhelmed with the end goal of the project, because I really think that you might be feeling overwhelmed by the idea of what you could be getting, and that you're going to be too eager and try to get it too quickly. So again, take your time. A lot of this is talking about needing to take your time, needing to slow down, make sure that what you are doing is something that actually inspires you, and with people that inspire you each and every day as well. So with all of that said, group 2 here, I hope you found this interesting, helpful, insightful for your next few months within your career, and see how it resonates for you. I really feel like this pile, there was multiple of you guys watching, and sometimes when there's so many of you watching one specific pile, the pile can kind of have like two different messages that are kind of flip-flopping back and forth. So I hope you found this coherent and helpful. If you did, please be sure to like this video and help this channel continue to grow and flourish, as well as let me know that you enjoyed your reading. You can also let me know in a comment down below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, maybe specific charms that really called out to you, how your intuition took this in. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, especially with how back and forth this pile has been. And lastly, if you would like me to do a reading for you and to help support me along the way, I'd love you guys to check out the snail mail readings that I provide for private readings for love, career, spiritual messages, talking to your spirit guides, all sorts of fun. I even do future me letters. It's been a lot of fun for me, but also I just find them to be so personal and so beautiful to send to someone, because I put in so much time, so much effort, so much love into the readings that I do for you. They're definitely not frivolous. I definitely take my time and really bring the messages that you need in an uplifting but helpful and honest, real way. So I do those through a vintage typewriter. I also send magical goodies like a handmade magical paper using local spell ingredients that I dry myself, as well as create a personalized sigil for you, and a whole letter that's hand typed on a vintage typewriter to send to you. So there's a lot of fun. If you want to check out more of how those readings work, I have a lot of information down below in the description, as well as on my Instagram. There's a lot that you can find there, so as well as reviews from those who have received their own. So if that's anything that sounds at all interesting to you, then feel free to check that out, or subscribe to this channel to see more of the fun, witchy, and weekly, monthly, and timeless videos that I put out. But with all of that said, I do truly wish the best for your career within these next coming months, and that you find the clarity that you are seeking and find the opportunities with real people that you are looking for. So with all of that said, I wish you guys the best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose the Rune of Berkana, as well as the B for these EF runes, then this is the pile for you. And just in case it resonates really deeply for you and you're curious what it means, here is some more information on Berkana. It is birth, for fertility, new beginnings, nurturing, family, healing, growth, and femininity. So that is what this rune really represents at its whole and at its core. So this may resonate for your specific pile and everything that we pull here today, but it may not. So we're just going to see what comes through. But I thought I would at least give you that message in case it was a message meant most for you. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and start. Feel free to grab yourself a drink, grab some water, grab some snack. I personally love to do and watch the readings that I watch from other YouTubers while I'm eating before dinner. So if maybe you guys are eating, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm always kind of curious what you guys are up to while you watch these, but we're going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the spellcasting oracle, these Celtic Lenormand cards, and the Everyday Witch Tarot, which is a very witchy deck, but I just love it for career readings for whatever reason. It just really calls to me. So feel free to send your energy in through time and space. It really does make a difference. And we're going to see what comes in. So group three, what career changes, career updates, shifts, transformations will be happening within the next few months for you. So here we are, the first message. We have the Lovers, very interesting. This can talk about reigniting love in the career that you're doing, reigniting your excitement for it, or there could also be messages of romance happening within the workplace. We'll see how it resonates, but here we are with the number 6 as well, but there you are with the Lovers. Very interesting as well with Berkana, with all of that fertility as well, but we'll see what else is coming in here. So group 3. Group 3, what do you have coming in for the career updates and changes? Transformations, reigniting as well. So here we are as well with the 9 of Pentacles. Really wonderful card to be getting in a career reading. One of the best. This talks about feeling financially secure, feeling stable, and finally getting to reap the rewards of your hard-earned efforts. So you might be getting a bonus, you might be getting just that like extra little bit of cash, a surprise coming in as well. Wonderful synchronicities. So I love that for you guys so far. So we have 6 and 9. So let's see what else there is for you. Group 3. Group 3. So we also have the 9 of Cups. Oh my goodness, you guys are feeling fulfilled. You're feeling really good about the choices that you're making in your career. Wonderful to be having. I feel like all 3 piles had such wonderful cards. But here we are with the 9 of Cups. So we have 9, 6, 9 in case that resonates for any angel numbers for you guys. But the other thing too with the 9 of Cups, it does talk about wish fulfillment, which we'll talk about more here in a moment. But I'm already feeling like all buzzed and jazzed about your guys' pile, but let's see what else is coming in. So I'm going to ask now to see any roadblocks that may be coming in, because we do have a lot of reigniting. We do have the 9 of Cups, we have the 9 of Pentacles, a lot of good coming your way. But let's see what any roadblocks may be coming in for you. So group, that one. So we have courage. So with courage, this can talk about that at one of your roadblocks could be just how you're going to step into your power, how you're going to empower yourself through the career choices that you make to get to this point where you feel fulfilled by it, right? So sometimes this can also be about finding the strength to get to this point, because almost success maybe even scares you. The idea that you could be successful maybe scares you, or even how easy it is that it could tumble down. So we're going to see more information, but here we are with courage so far for you. Group 3, what do you need to hear? Okay, so we have the Meadow. This is a really beautiful one, a different kind of message than your previous ones. The Meadow can talk about a gathering of sorts, gathering with friends and family to almost celebrate your abundance, to celebrate because you have the abundance to go out. So maybe you're finally going to be able to go out somewhere, or to, spend a little bit more money, get a little bit more social with other people in some way, however you feel safe and comfortable to do so. We have the number 20, as well as the 8 of Swords, or the 8 of spades here. Sometimes I forget cards. There you are with the different numbers. The 8 of spades or the 8 of swords can talk about feeling again with that courage sort of closed off, or feeling like you can't make a step forward, like you're almost like, again, holding yourself back from your own success. So I think that is definitely coming in for you. But let's see your final affirmation here and final card to pull before we do the charms later on. So do stay tuned for those, and we might even do a letter tile cast if I'm feeling up for it, or if I'm feeling like you guys need that. But let's go ahead and dive into your final message here before the rest of the messages come in later on. So here we are, group three. What do you need to hear at this time for your career? Group 3, what affirmation does group 3 need to hear for these career updates? Ooh, such a good one. Such good energy. Okay, we have shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars. This is such a good one. It talks about, shooting for what you want, going after what you want, having the courage to speak up and go for these goals that you have, so that you can be successful, that you can reap the rewards, and that it is actually truly available to you. I really feel like you guys are fearful of being able to go that far, right? You're like shooting for the moon because the stars are too far. But there's so much more potential in you, and God, I'm just rooting for you guys so hard right now. So it doesn't have to mean that you're going to get like thousands of dollars and all these things are going to change, but I do think that there is so much opportunity. So let's go ahead and dive right in here, group 3. So right off the bat, what I don't know if I left this in with editing or not, but when I was talking about courage, and as I went into the meta with the 8 of swords here, I actually accidentally flicked a couple of these different charms onto the board, and I don't know if I left it in. If I didn't, I will put it in now. Closed off. My goodness. But we had the X show up, which I think is really interesting with courage and with this 8 of swords. So I'm going to talk about that first. I really think that this might be a very specific message for some of you. But I do think, especially with this lover showing up, that there may be a connection to almost feeling like you were gaslit, or that you felt like you couldn't have this beautiful 9 energy of fulfillment, feeling like you just finally can shoot for the stars and go for what you want. And I feel like there's maybe an ex, and this could be an ex-family member, an ex-friend, an ex-colleague, a actual ex within a relationship that you're gathering and seeing, and I almost feel like either you're trying to prove to them that you can have this, almost like as it's your drive, it's what's moving you forward, and being like, I can have this, I can shoot for the stars, I can do better than you think I could ever do. I do see some of that, but I also see them being a roadblock, being a reason why you aren't allowing yourself to head towards the goals and dreams that you have in your mind and envision, because they have kind of almost tried to plague that area of your life. And maybe that's because you need a refresh, and that's what I was talking about earlier. I'm actually going to leave this X out because I just feel like it was really important for some of you. But right off the bat, we got that Lovers card, which is making me think that you are bringing back the love towards your relationship with your career. I feel like you may have lost love, lost your excitement, lost that spark, that inspiration that you had towards what initially sparked the reason why you went after these business goals, went for that job, chose this place, or that if it even wasn't your dream job, maybe at least you had dreams that you're wanting to reignite, that you're wanting to gather up, that you're trying to find that abundance within again, and find the courage to finally leap towards those goals and empower yourself through them, right? This could be like a roadblock, right? Because it almost looks like a wall, a force field, but it also could be an opportunity depending on how you see it. So definitely change your mindset over that you do have opportunities, that you do have all this beautiful wealth that can come your way. And I really truly do mean that, especially with these nines. So they've been plaguing your mind, trying to tell you off. I really think, especially within your spiritual team, we have this little crab and this little fight happening here on the sand. And while you're feeling really content, I almost feel like you're finally backing yourself up. You're finally telling them off, pushing them away and being like, get out of my space. They may have been a Cancer or a water sign, but just in general, they just could be those types of people that are just trying to get in your space where they are not welcome. And I think you're finally seeing that and being able to push through that. So that may have been a very specific message to some of you, but just in general, you're restarting, reigniting, and representing yourself the idea of this career and these career moves that you're going towards, because I think that you're wanting to be inspired again. You want to reignite that flame, and I think that you definitely have a spiritual team helping you alongside it, because we do have within this card, right, all this beautiful spirit in the smoke. So definitely if you work with fire magic or definitely fire against this water with all this courage, definitely use it. We even have like a little cauldron in a pot over here, so if some of you are curious about how fire magic works into your spirit and your spiritual side, then definitely check out the video that I have up here somewhere as I dive deeply into your magical abilities as well as your psychic and spiritual ones, if that's something that interests you. Alongside this courage, though, beyond this X, just in general, I think that you felt like maybe you can't shoot for the stars, right? Like I said, that there's almost a fear of success. And I personally have experienced this. It's such a weird feeling because everybody is like, yeah, you can definitely do that. Just go for it, right? And it's almost like you cringe sometimes because you want to go towards these goals, but you're almost scared you're almost scared of your potential, right? You're scared that you're almost underestimating the amount of potential you have or overestimating the amount of potential you have. And you're scared that even if you do get it, how do you keep it? How do you save up for it? How do you savor it? Because we do have this sandcastle, right? You're feeling very fulfilled, but it's so easy for the waves just to come in and take that right on down. So I think you're almost wanting to stay in a place that feels safe, because shooting for the stars so far feels like, how do you get back, or how do you get yourself back up if things fall? And I think those are very real fears to have, but there's something that is either in your spiritual team or just deep within your higher self calling you to still try anyway, to still do it anyway, because even if you lose it all, it's better to have had it and lost it than to never have tried it all. And I think that's what's really coming in deeply and strongly for your pile, is to just try it anyway, to reignite it, to go for it, and to shoot for those stars, because I think that that's going to be so beneficial for you. You're going to get so much fulfillment for the success that you bring in, for the stability that you bring in, but also just in general, I just think that there's going to be so much love too, right? It's better to have loved than to have never loved at all. Or rather, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So in this case, this is almost like it may be a temporary job, maybe it's only an internship, maybe you only get to be there for a certain amount of time, or maybe it's like a dream project that will bring in some money, but it's not something that's going to be lasting. But just like a flame, it's going to keep you warm for a while, and you just have to find that next thing afterwards, but it's going to be worth the journey. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms. I actually do feel like pulling you guys a couple of letters, especially with that X. It makes me think that you guys might need some more information on specific people that may be coming in, specific names, dates, initials, places. Let's go. Okay, so first off we have here F, A, D, G, Z, and A. So immediately I'm getting like zigzag, like you're zigzagging around, or you're working around something because you're scared of the potential of it. We also could, like I said, this could be like Zachary, or Xavier or something like that with a Z. I'm also getting maybe like a dad or father, so a guardian or a parent, as well as maybe a grandma or grandparent. So something within your family is definitely coming in. These could also talk about places where these dream jobs could be coming in. So definitely see where they resonate for you. I'm not getting a lot of words, but I do think that there are going to be initials or places, street names, maybe Arizona. Definitely see what comes in. FDA also came in here, but those are the different letters that showed up for you. Let me know what you think of them in the comments, if any other specific lines that came in for you. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the charms and get those smaller details and then move towards the end of your reading. So group three. Okay, so as always, I'm going to pick up the ones that fell upside down here first, and then see how, oh my gosh, we got the Ten of Pentacles again. Every single pile has gotten the Ten of Pentacles, either in a charm or a card. So some of you are either watching all three piles, or they're just really resonating with the fact that you guys have so much potential. That's so exciting. I just love when things line up like that. So I'm going to see what else comes in here for you. We have the fall in love charm, so more love messages coming in for sure, or something having to do with maybe romantic relationships, but I'm going to zoom you in here. So let's go ahead and start here in the center, and I'm going to move the X as well up here. So this talks about finding peace of mind again, finding self-care, finding yourself again. So especially if you guys maybe are looking for love in your, maybe you really like someone in your circles, or within your networking, or within people in your workplace, but there definitely still is that conflict of either a family member, a friend, a ex-relationship in some way that is kind of just stealing your thunder still. It's still present, even though you're trying to find this peace of mind. So there is a switch, a change that's trying to be switched here, possibly even a boss being part of this toxic relationship that you have, because we do have the top dog charm. It says top dog there. This can talk about pets, but it makes me think of someone who is a leader, or they're a leadership role. So the fact that you're trying to find peace of mind and trying to find yourself around all this toxic environment is telling me that you either need to change, not necessarily change entirely careers unless that's something you feel really called to, but that you need to have clear conversations and boundaries with these types of people and really tell them, if possible, how you feel or how you're being treated within this environment, or the reason why you're feeling stuck, and that you don't have this potential because maybe they've just kind of messed with you, because we do have the frozen heart, right? It's the cold-hearted kind of people. So there is a leadership role, someone who's above you, again, a father, a grandfather, more masculine is what I'm getting, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But we do have that fall in love charm, and then the Ten of Pentacles happening over here, which makes me think that you are falling in love with your job, with your career, with your coworkers as well, with those people that are really truly there for you. So beautiful to have coming in here. So I do think that even though there is this toxic environment, I think that you're going to find peace of mind again, that you're going to change things around and find the courage to speak up to them, as well as tell your truth. Because right now we have the mask charm. This talks about putting a mask on, being like, it's completely fine, everything's okay, and it's like a masquerade, like nobody really knows your true feelings, how you actually feel. So the only way to find this peace of mind is really to tell your honest feelings towards these fathers, towards your grandfather, towards these people that are trying to gaslight you or manipulate you or emotionally be above you in some way. We also have the basket, which tells me that there's a lot that's in your basket, that you have a lot to say, or that you're just feeling overwhelmed by the idea of having to keep this mask on. And this may resonate different for you if you don't feel like this is an ex necessarily. It could just mean that there are feelings there that aren't being expressed as well, for some of you who maybe are just in general getting less of the ex and more of the that initial attraction that we got with that Lovers card right off the bat, of feeling like maybe there's love around the corner there, we do have that fall in love charm and then that mask. So I think that you are still opening up to them at this time, but there could be potential there, seeing as we have that 10 of Pentacles. But definitely use discretion. If it feels toxic, then don't go after it, okay? But with all of that said, those are all the charms that you received here, as well as your letters. So I hope you found this reading useful. Feel free to like this video if you really did like this reading and it was helpful to you. It really does help this channel continue to grow and flourish, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you to everyone who has liked the video as well as commented, because I love to have a conversation with you guys. Maybe you know who this is, maybe you don't. Maybe you're still figuring that out. Maybe there's more to learn, but do know that you can shoot for the stars. There's so much potential in you guys, and there's so much potential for these coming months. So definitely go for it. I'm rooting for you at the very least. So do know I am here for you. Down in the comments, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Feel free to like the video. Also feel free to subscribe if you are new and you want to see more of the readings that I have on this channel for monthly readings, blessings, timeless readings for spiritual and magical gifts and abilities, as well as all of my other career readings and the like. And lastly, if you'd like to be able to have me support you through your career even further through different messages and insights that you're curious about, even love readings and also spiritual readings, then feel free to check out the private readings that I do, as I do these snail mail readings where I send a hand-typed reading on a vintage typewriter to you, as well as a ritual with magical ingredients that I use from local herbs that I use to create magical handmade spell paper, as well as a personalized sigil and an entire reading that's typed up specifically for you. I put so much love, effort, thought, and time into the readings that I do, and I go even deeper than I do at all on this channel. So if you're interested in a very private, very personal reading that is sent to you through the mail, then feel free to check out the snail mail readings that I do. I have a lot of information down below, but also on my Instagram, where there are honest reviews and you can see all the different smaller little bits and bobs details. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and thank you for chilling with me and supporting this channel so much. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.